Hey, Wache, Coach Raja here. Let's talk about neutral zone regroup. Okay, the one that I generally like to run has us getting the puck over to the weak side as quickly as possible. Right. So let's say we pick up the puck over in this area. So this is strong side. We're generally going to have 2D that are back here. Usually we'll have a guy, at least one guy on the puck here, right? So our F1, our nearest guy to the puck. If F1 manages to get control, what I like to do is immediately bring it back to the strong side defenseman, right? Gives him some time and space so he can get his head up, kind of see what presents itself. Generally, I'll have them go D to D, so we're going to attack horizontally and get that over to the weak side of the ice where we got some more space at. What I want to see is that the other two guys, the two forwards, come support this pass. So we go D to D. I usually have these two cross, right? So we got one guy in the far lane, and this guy crosses, so we got one guy in the middle lane. Our original strong side guy stays right there, right? So we can bring it back over to him if we want to then come back across the ice. Otherwise, we have a nice little 10-foot pass to one of these two. If it comes to the middle and we're approaching that blue line, we should kick it out to the edge, right? Over to the side. And now we got our zone entry, right? So our guy with the puck is F1. He enters the zone. This middle lane guy comes in, middle lane drive, our F2, so he drives their D2 back to the net. And then, who was our original strong side guy is our weak side guy now, and he just kind of times it and sneaks down the boards and sneaks and sneaks and sneaks, and then cuts across to receive this pass in the slot in this open area that F2 created with his net drive. So that is probably the most common look that I like to see. Again, let's say we get the puck along the boards over here and we have F1 battling. We got our D, right? We got maybe F2 kind of supporting a little bit, but then we got our third guy cutting the ice in half in the middle, right? We win this puck. We get back to our defenseman who goes over to the other defenseman. These two, right, they start to cut. They start to make options for our weak side D. Maybe we come back to this guy who then, right, can enter the zone as F1. We got our F2 that swings so he can do our middle net drive. Then we have our other guy who is kind of swinging this way, who times it out and receives this pass. If F1 ever gets too far ahead of the play, he can drive down to the hash marks and then turn back up the board. So I'll have the boys practice that, where they drive down, they realize that F2 hasn't cleared through yet, right? And as long as F2 hasn't cleared through, they probably have a D2 sitting right in this passing lane. That's why F2 is so important. So we can turn back up the boards, right? F2, give them time to clear, and then F3 is timing it to where they're coming into that shooting spot all at the same time, and we got a successful offensive zone entry. So neutral zone regroup, clean, building up some momentum, having time and space for our zone entry. It can be a really great thing. Also, sometimes if you've been down in the other team's defensive zone for a long time and they're starting to get gassed and they're starting to get tired, it's not necessarily a bad idea to, on purpose, drag it out into the neutral zone, because everybody's going to try to change because they're tired, and you can regroup quick and then get back in here, and that will create an odd man rush all the time too. So sometimes it's good, especially if you're playing a team that you're quite a bit better than, and they just can't get it out of their zone. Maybe work in a neutral zone regroup in that situation. Watch that whole team change rather than just being collapsed in on their slot where you're having a hard time getting it through to the goalie, and then attack them right away and try to create an odd man rush. Okay, thank you. Come find me if you have any questions.